Bash in Berlin predictions, let's go. Let's start off strong with Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk in a strap match. Now, it looked like it was going to be going this way when we saw that belt come out, and it certainly has ended up that way. Who's going to be getting the biggest whipping on the night, though? I'm going to go for a CM Punk win. I think he kind of needs it at this point. He hasn't had too many matches, of course, since he come back. He lost the opener versus Drew, so it's probably time for him to pick up the win, and I do think this will go to a third where Drew will probably get that win as well. Either way, I think it's going to be a brutal match. Really looking forward to it. And this feud just keeps getting layer upon layer upon layer. So let's keep going.
So the first match is going to be the strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Now with this match, it's a strap match where you have to touch all four corners. Not really a format that I'm a huge fan of. I prefer the pinfall or submission option. However, I do feel that this feud has not come to a conclusion yet, and we are going to see a CM Punk victory leading to Drew McIntyre CM Punk 3 inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood.
So first, I'm going to predict the match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which has been made a strap match. Now, in this contest, I think I need CM Punk to win. I think that Drew obviously won at SummerSlam via shenanigans involving Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is now not involved. I think CM Punk ultimately needs this win. And I believe this will now tie them one apiece, and they will go on to Bad Blood next month, in October, and have a Hell in a Cell match. So I think it makes sense for Punk to win this match. I know he's a big fan of old school wrestling, as am I, and this is a really good stipulation for this feud, I believe. And without Rollins being any part of it, it allows them to just finally have the actual ring to themselves with a stipulation. I believe this will be brutal, but I do believe that CM Punk will leave the victor.
Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Now, it's too early, surely, for Cody Rhodes to be losing his title to someone like KO at this very moment in time. Whether or not KO is going to turn heel, I know they've been toying around with that lately. I don't know, because I think someone else who's on the card later on should be the one to turn on Cody. But for me, ultimately, I think Cody needs to win this match and needs to keep the title. Doesn't need to go on KO just yet. I think he's someone to just get us to that next feud, whatever that might be.
Next up, we have Cody Rhodes taking on Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship of all of the United States, Canada, the world, whatever they're calling the title nowadays. But yeah, I think this is a fairly routine victory for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
The next match to predict is the match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, and it's for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, this is a bit of a difficult one because I like both guys. I really do. I've always been a KO fan, and I really like Cody. But this isn't the match that he loses the championship in. You know, it again is like a kind of filler match. It'll be a very good match. Obviously, Kevin Owens, one of the best guys kind of out there, and he's always a safe bet for this thing. But I'm not really a fan of these matches that don't have much build. More so than just, we want just to have a title match. And I think outside of Kevin Owens going full on heel mode, I don't see a reason for him to win the championship. So I will say Cody Rhodes to be the victor.
Now, the Terror Twins of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley up against Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan representing the Judgment Day. How things have changed, right? Well, this is going to be, I think, a really highly anticipated match. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's probably the one I'm maybe most looking forward to because it's got such an incredible story at the moment. For me, though, it needs to be the baby faces of Rhea and Priest winning this one, and I think it will be. This feud has a lot of legs going forward. Maybe they'll even get a new friend to help them. Either way, Priest and Rhea for me.
Next up, we have the tag team match, a mixed tag team match. It is Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley taking on Dominic Mysterio and the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Now, I feel as though the Terror Twins will have to win this one, in all fairness, because when you think about it, like, what is it? Liv and Dominic. You know, how long are they going to keep this one on for? You know, it's I think they have to win this one really, Rhea and Damian. So Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest for me are coming out of this one victorious.
The next contest on the predict is the mixed tag team contest, which I'm actually kind of excited about in a little way. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the people in the match, but anyway, the mixed tag team match as Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley take on Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan, which is interesting now as Judgment Day is no longer any original members are in that faction. I believe obviously Liv winning at SummerSlam last month or recently. I think that Rhea's got to get something surely. But is that something her just doing a Riptide and Dom and then he'll still win? Or do I do a DQ? It's a really difficult one. I'm going to have to pick, based off my other predictions, as I predict two baby faces, that I think the villains will win. So I'm going to go with Dom and Liv to win this one.
World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther defending in Germany against Randy Orton. Now, of course, he's not from Germany, but he cut his teeth there, and it will be somewhat a homecoming for the Austrian. But will this be a win for the Austrian? Yeah, for me, it has to be. I think giving Orton the title at this point doesn't really make sense. Just like KO is getting Cody to that next stop, I think Randy is getting Gunther to that next stop. I think he will win another title before the dust is settled, but I don't think Randy needs to win it at this moment in time. If anything, I think this should lead to Randy getting a taste of gold and getting a little bit obsessed with it, and it therefore leading to a jealousy-based feud against Cody Rhodes.
The final match I'm going to predict is probably what is going to be the main event. It is going to be Gunther in what WWE are describing as his hometown, even though he's from Austria and this is in Germany, but hey ho. Bit like when they were over here for Clash at the Castle, the first one, and it was in Wales and it was Drew McIntyre's hometown, but anyway. Yeah, so this is Gunther taking on Randy Orton, looking to become a 15-time world champion, Randy Orton. But fear not, WWE fans, Gunther is coming out of this one as still the reigning and defending World Heavyweight Champion.
And the final match to predict is the match which will most likely be the main event of the pay-per-view or PLE, and that is the match for the World Heavyweight Championship as Gunther takes on Randy Orton. I really want Randy Orton to win, but he's not gonna. I mean, it's Gunther's first defense. I think this match really will be, I think it could be a match of the year contender, to be deadly honest. I think it really has the power to be really strong. But yeah, Gunther's not losing on his first defence. They've had a lot of kind of shenanigans involved in the World Championship. Though I will just caveat this and say I really just hope that Gunther doesn't do another, I can't do another like 2-year run. I mean, I'm fine in being dominant for a few months, but you know, with other people, I'm a massive fan of Gunther, but I think this is banging, and I think it's a good way to kind of fix the mistake that they did, obviously in that finish at King of the Ring. With the shoulder not being down.
The WWE Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line at Bash at Berlin when Alba, Fyre and Isla Dawn take on the team of Bianca, Belair and Jade Cargill with the championship on the line. So for this one, I will go with Bianca, Belair and Jade Cargill to regain the Tag Team Championships. Although Dawn and Fyre are the quote-unquote European team, I do think that Bianca and Jade are going to be coming out of this one victorious. So, LA Knight is also going to be defending the United States Championship, which he is going to put on the line in an open challenge. Now, open challenges are always a good one for surprises, especially United States open challenges. Obviously, the famous John Cena ones, which launched the careers of many people, such as Kevin Owens, let's not forget. But I think this is going to be LA Knight leaving with the United States Championship still. Sorry, LA Knight, yeah, leaving as US Champion. So yeah, As for predictions as to who it's going to be, I envision either a returning Giovanni Vinci or Santos Escobar.
Stick with us on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel for more content leading up to and beyond WWE Bash in Berlin, and let us know what you think is going to happen at the show. Hello everyone and welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. My name is Scott and we are here to talk all things Bash in Berlin with this watch-along experience of the Kickoff show. We know how WWE do it now. They have these big fan events the night before the PLE, and they bring all the kind of key figures out to kind of get us in the mood for the show. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to watch that and kind of break down all the big exciting stories going into Bash in Berlin right after this.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
All right, welcome again to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. My name is Scott and we are here to talk Bash in Berlin. We're a few minutes away from WWE themselves going live. So what we're going to do here is break down each and every one of the matches and kind of see what WWE have to offer tonight as well. Now, sadly, I am disappointed that I can't be over there in Germany, but I thought I'd bring a little bit of German culture here with a big old stein here. So what we're going to do, we're going to break down, I nearly took a sip there. It was very inviting. It smelled quite nice. Hold on. There we go. Now I'm in the mood. Let's go. Let's talk Bash in Berlin. We're just a few moments away, as I say, from the Kickoff show starting, and we're going to break down some of the matches here. Of course, we did our prediction show just a few days ago. It got uploaded to this account, so if you haven't already, go back and check that out before the main show, of course, on Saturday night as well. Then, of course, speaking of Saturday night, straight after it, we'll be hitting you with an instant reaction review. And you know how we do on this channel, we have to build up show before it as well. We will also be playing this portion of the Kickoff on our build-up stream as well. So let's get into it. Let's talk about some of these matches we're going to be kind of talking about tonight. Of course, a big one a lot of people are excited about are the Terror Twins, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest against the Judgment Day, which again still feels a little weird to say, but we're referring to a new Judgment Day now in Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio being the two kind of representation here. That's going to be a big one. As I say, I think that's one that most people are kind of looking forward to the most. It's usually at the top of people's lists as far as what I've heard recently. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing that one. Another big match we've got to look forward to as well, of course, is the WWE Heavyweight, World Heavyweight, Undisputed, whatever they're calling it these days, Championship. Cody Rhodes, of course, defending against Kevin Owens. A lot of kind of thought that maybe Kevin could turn, but they've been heavily leaning into that as well. So maybe be a bit too obvious. The next one as well, another big title match. This one is actually called the World Heavyweight Championship, by the way. And this will be, of course, Gunther defending in Germany against Randy Orton. Now, of course, it's always important to say Gunther is not from Germany. He's Austrian, but of course he made his name there originally. So it's going to be a huge moment for Gunther. I can only imagine what the fans are going to be like for him. Also, Ludwig Kaiser, are we going to see him on the show? You would imagine so. He could be popping up maybe in that LNI Open Challenge for the US title, which would be quite an interesting one. Leah Dragunov, again, not someone that's technically German, but spent some time there as well. That would be someone who I'm sure would get a great crowd reaction as well. Moving on, we've also got CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. This feud, as I said in my prediction the other day, just keeps heating up, and I'm really enjoying it. Looking forward to seeing what they do here with the stipulation, of course. Making it a strap match now does make things a little different. So it'll be interesting to see what they pull off as well. And of course, quite recently added now are the women's tag team titles being on the line between Fyre and Dawn up against Belair and Cargill. So that'll be quite an interesting one as well. It does feel somewhat likely that the titles are going to go back to where they were a while ago, or we could see a bait and switch. There could be even a turn here. We've been talking for quite some time actually about the inevitable split between the former tag champs, as we kind of know them as now, Belair and Cargill, and that's going to be really exciting to see what happens there as well. But currently you are watching the Kickoff watch along here on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us, whether you're here for the first time or you've been here before. Again, my name is Scott, and we basically, on events like this, like to break down as much as we can and get in the mood. We did our prediction show the other day. You may have seen our shorts and TikToks being uploaded through the week as well. But now it's talking about the Kickoff that WWE, of course, do now the day before a PLE. Those big fan events. This one's at I think it's called the Uber Arena or something like that, out there in Berlin. And we'll also be doing our build-up show, Instant Reaction, as well on the night of the PLE. Now, speaking of being out there in Berlin, Lucas from this channel is out there in Berlin as well. So he's going to be dropping in throughout the weekend, updating us as well, let us know what the atmosphere is like out there in Berlin as well. So we do have kind of eyes and ears on the ground, if you will. So please, again, stick with us on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. Would love to have you join us over the weekend as we deep dive into a lot of exciting matches. Again, we've just touched on 5 of them there, but there's another one as well. Of course, we loosely touched on it as well, but we don't actually know who's involved yet. So they're like, yeah, defending the US title. But against who? I'd love to hear your thoughts and predictions in the comments, guys. I'd love to know what you think of, this international flavor. Once again, it's great to see these PLEs go abroad, isn't it? And really exciting to see them come over to kind of Europe, where I am, and really exciting to see these shows kind of get bigger and better and try new things really for the WWE. It's been a great couple of years, and I'm sure it's going to continue here tonight and over this weekend as well. So the show is going to be starting very soon. I'm just going to make sure I'm ready for that as well. The last thing you want is me not actually knowing what's going on, right? As I say, though, plenty of other content on this channel. If you haven't already seen it, we've spoken to LA Knight in person. If you want to see our chat with Mr. Knight, should you call him Mr. Knight? That's a bit of a weird thing, isn't it? You can check that out. We've also had great conversations on the channel with the likes of current Judgment Day member Liv Morgan, again, very weird to say, and former members Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. So once again, if you haven't already, do subscribe and please check out our content in the archive as well. So yeah, it's just a few moments away. I think we're about 2 minutes away now from the WWE Kickoff show actually starting. And once again, I'd love to know, guys, what do you think is going to happen tonight? What are your predictions for Bash in Berlin tomorrow as well? Want to know what you think as far as each and every one of these matches. Who are you most looking forward to seeing? What match are you most looking forward to seeing? Maybe get some title changes. It's going to be an interesting one because, again, it's kind of strange new waters still, right? With international PLEs. Sometimes they blow you out of the water. Sometimes they feel like a glorified house show, let's be honest. And it'd be interesting to kind of do, I guess, a bit of a retrospective look back soon on I guess, the first few of these PLEs and see what people think of them. Once again, we've done our prediction show a few days ago. If you haven't already, check it out on this channel. Right now, WWE seems to be gearing up. Their stream has started, but it's telling us to wait, essentially. We've got some more time to wait. Well, to be fair, we're a minute away still. I like the fact they're doing this sort of stuff. I mean, last month we did this for SummerSlam, and I'll be honest, guys, not a lot happened. It was fun. It was fun to watch, but not a lot happened. So I'm hoping there's a little bit more to talk about this time round. But hey, we'll still have fun with it, won't we? Drop us a comment again. Let us know what you're thinking of this event and your thoughts about the weekend overall. But they are fun, and I think they're great for fans to kind of get themselves in a mood when you're there as well, get hyped up, hear some of the early chants. Remember what it was like in France for Backlash, got a lot of those chants that would, of course, carry over into the next day. See, when they did it here in London for Money in the Bank, we didn't have any of these events at the time. They've only started doing it, of course, this year with WrestleMania, which was incredible, that one, wasn't it? What happened with Rock and Cody and all that. But here we go. Then Now Forever signatures playing. Together, I should say. Forget that last bit. All right, let's have a look. Views of Berlin from above. Okay. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Showing this kind of history and geographic kind of knowledge for people to take on board, really, to get a concept of where they are. Maybe I take that for granted being here in Europe. It's a bit more familiar, I guess. But still, I'm learning stuff, don't get me wrong. But I think it's good for people around the world, really, to get a bit of context as to where they are and what WWE are doing. They truly are a global company now, world wrestling entertainment. You could argue it might be the only time they've ever really used or represented all three of those words. All right, Drew McIntyre being shown now. Bit of a boo from the fans in Berlin. CM Punk chant starting now as well. And here's the man himself. Footage of him walking backstage. Bit of a cheer for him. And now we see Dominic and Liv walking hand in hand, or arm in arm at least. No, maybe hand in hand. I can't quite tell, but they're very close, guys. And there we see the Terror Twins walking backstage as well. Big cheer for them. Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest. So once again, we are here for the watch-along of the Kickoff show. If you're watching on demand, by the way, guys, if you're watching at a later date, tomorrow, of course, this is going to be replayed in the build-up show. Feel free to go and catch the stream and watch along with us again. If you are watching with us live, we appreciate that. All right, promo video now. A lot of SummerSlam highlights, which was a great show, by the way, guys. And again, if you want to hear our thoughts on that, go back and watch the instant reaction review. Okay, the making of Bash in Berlin. What's this? Pretty cool. So it looks like it shows them preparing for Backlash there. Loving that. Again, showing the unique chance that we had for AJ Styles. And then we say Gunther getting ready. Cheers, Gunther. I mean, surely, guys, there's no way he's losing the title, right? So Gunther's saying, nothing catches me out of nowhere. That promo was great. You saw Cody, Roman saying, Roman and Cody, what am I doing? Randy Orton saying, I want you to see it coming. I did see a great clip of Gunther talking about strengthening his neck. I love stuff like that. Saying that, even if he gets hit with an RKO, he wants to be able to absorb the impact and take it better. Love stuff like that. Now, a bit of a slip there. I said Cody. That's because we're seeing some clips of Cody and Kevin. Now we're seeing, it's just running for them all now, but here's the Uber Arena again. Be interesting to know what the capacity is going to be on Saturday night. Of course, Friday night as well. If you're watching live tonight, we've got SmackDown. Once again, we've got Lucas over there, so hopefully we'll hear some comments from him, as I say, about what the atmosphere is like in Berlin at the moment. But again, wherever you're watching around the world, whether you're live with us on Friday afternoon, as it is here in the UK, or you're watching on the build-up show Saturday night, gearing up for us to go live again, we appreciate you. I like the graphics for Bash in Berlin. I mean, the name is so-so, isn't it? Bash in Berlin's a bit cheesy. And the hashtag being WWE Bash, as it also has been for Bash, Great American Bash, is a bit odd. So in some ways, is this an extension of the Great American Bash? Going for a massive cheer there, but surely Orton's going to get the same cheer as well. Not as loud as Gunther, but that's understandable. Yeah, Orton's going after his 16th title. No number to be sniffed at. Here we go. He's coming out first. This looks incredible, by the way, outside the venue. And you've got the stage set up, of course, the way they've been doing it lately. But to see the actual stage, the actual venue behind the stage is pretty cool as well. So Michael Cole chants there. So funny how things have changed a few years ago. You'd never hear that. But the man deserves it. It'll be interesting to see what happens on SmackDown. As I say, when we go live Saturday night for the build-up, we'll be talking about what did go down. We're talking about how that may affect Bash and our original predictions as well. Who's Cole bringing out first? Oh, it must be The Miz, right? Oh, The Miz. Okay. Good cheer for The Miz. What's The Miz doing, though? I mean, of course, SummerSlam, he was the host. He's not a tag champ anymore, so it'd be interesting to see how they slot him in. I mean, maybe it's just simply to do this. Maybe that's why he's took the flight. It's so strange the role he's kind of taken on there. He's always had this kind of utility role, hasn't he, where he can be slotted in anywhere. But his opportunities are definitely kind of getting smaller and smaller these days and getting more into these kind of roles that we're seeing here. But, you know, that would happen when you get kind of up there in years and towards the end of your career. Not saying that he's done anytime soon, don't get me wrong, but he's not exactly breaking onto the scene anymore. So, but a nice show of appreciation by the fans there in Germany. Mrs. Awesome chant. As Miz says, don't have a match and already chanting Mrs. Awesome. All right, so Miz says he's going to be on the Countdown show as well, which, by the way, we will be live while it's on again with our build-up show. So we'll let you know if anything interesting is going on there. If you want to use us as a watch-along experience for that as well, we'd appreciate it. All right, Miz, bigging up the food. Miz talking about washing down his food in a beer garden with a beer. Now there's a beer chomp. I can get behind that. Wow. So Miz says tonight with SmackDown is the first time WWE been here for a TV show in 27 years. So what's that? 97? That feels about right. Because I feel like I do remember there was a Raw. Let's have a look. That must have been right. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah. In March 97. But here we go. Back to the present day. We've got CM Punk coming out. And The Miz is kind of rocking out to his theme song. Nice to see they've made up. And the chants begin before he comes out. Here he is. Nice little embrace between the two as well. And Punk holds the mic out as they sing along. Oh, he's tempted to stage dive, it seems. So this is why these events are great, like, especially because they're free as well. Gives people a great chance. But, you know, if you don't get to go to the show, for example, you don't get tickets. It's a great way to get the atmosphere and see your favorite stars. And they continue to sing the song as the music fades out. Fantastic. Punkies are greater than Swifties, says Michael Cole. I won't lay off that, you know. They get a little bit intense, that fan base. Punk's still looking for his wristband. Michael Cole should have counted in German there, shouldn't they? That would have been better. Saying that, I wonder if we're going to get German counts like we did in Puerto Rico. It's Spanish. We heard it in French at Backlash. Well, they were both Backlash, weren't they, those two shows? But still, you get what I'm saying. Well, 10 years since Punk's been in Germany. Punk appreciating the German weather this time, it seems. Wow. Taking it back to OVW stats here. So talking about how he won the strap match in the OVW title, I think he said. And his second strap match against Umaga, beating him as well. Oh, yeah, that is when he cashed in Money in the Bank. Wow. I remember that. Punk talking about the risk there of being in the strap match, being worth it because he can, punish Drew, but it is a risk for him. He could get injured. I mean, Punk getting injured is quite a topic these days, so let's hope that's not the case. And he's happy that the fans are behind him in Berlin. A lot of flags we can see, though, in the audience, as you would imagine. European country, you got a Spanish flag. I saw a Turkish flag, a Scottish flag. Nice to see the kind of representation there from other fans outside of Germany as well. Same thing happens again here in London. When I was at All In last week, by the way, check out our content for All In on this channel, our shorts from some of the great entrances and moments. But you do get fans from all around, not just Europe, but the world coming to a destination like this. So it's great for the local fans, but great for those that can travel as well. Ooh, Punk talking about not have to worry about Seth as a ref. Why did no one call him Ref Rollins? That would have been good. No, we missed that, didn't we? Oh, he mentioned Seth, but now we got his song going. Oh, it's getting louder as well. Seth's gone away, isn't he? So he's not even there. So Carl's now asking him what happens if you don't win. I think surely Punk's got to win. He can't come back and keep looking bad. So Punk saying he hasn't even thought about it because he plans to win. So he ain't thought about losing. Good point. Like he says, he planned on winning at SummerSlam. So we're wrapping up with Punk now, but will we get Drew coming out on this kickoff show before he leaves? All right. He's off. Looks like we're not getting a face-to-face. Good way to start the kickoff show. And there we go. Back into song for the fans in Berlin. What's next then? Good start to the show. Even Michael Cole's on the beer. He wants a Pilsner. Or 6, as it says. Pills. Oh, some booze for Drew there. So it looks like we're sticking to the same match here, guys. We're going to be talking about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre for a little bit longer. And the music's hit, but here come the booze. It's funny, isn't it? Because Drew is very much playing the role of the heel that is basically in the right. And I've even seen people on Twitter in the past few days say, is he actually a heel still? Because, who's the heel in this storyline? He walks out, a bit of swagger, sunglasses on. What is that flag there? It looks like a Chubba Chumps. I'm sure it's not a Chubba Chumps flag. It's just done in that design, maybe a parody. What other flags have we got there? Is it Dutch flag, Italian flag? I think I maybe saw an Algerian flag or something earlier. Oh, Drew spat on the floor. Oh, not good, not good. Not nice. So he's definitely a heel here. No question, guys. CM Punk chance for him as well. Oh, okay. So Cole saying there's a reason they don't like you. Drew's looking for a reason. And Cole saying you need to respect him. Obviously, because he starts spitting. Oh, okay. So, a-hole chance now. As Drew basically says, look, this is a nostalgia thing. And as soon as you get him back, you go after him, even though I've been here. Bit of story time now with Drew. Wow, I never thought they'd talk about. I mean, this is true. Drew's basically now starting to hint, and how much is he going to straight up say it, that during the pandemic, that WWE kept going, and he was the guy. And we've talked about it for years, haven't we, on this channel? That is very, very true. You know what? I like the fact they've done that, because they kind of alluded to it after the pandemic, didn't they? How like certain wrestlers, him, Bobby Lashley, Bailey, the rest of the rest of, I was just trying to see what that sign said. Drew Fatentire. The rest of what was Bobby Lashley's team called? Hurt Business. How they all kind of held WWE up. They picked WWE up, you know, during the pandemic era. Now Drew's really emphasizing that now that he's a bad guy, saying, "Look, I was your escape. Now you're turning on me." I like that. Drew is actually laughing now because apparently Punk signed that sign. Shut up, Germany. I can't hear him. He says, "Whoa, ooh, ain't gonna go well." Drew is so good on a mic. So good. Because the fact he could talk on the cuff like this, and we talk about that era coming out of pandemic. Do you remember when we had that WrestleMania and they let some fans back, and then there was that delay because of the storm? And we always mention it because it's one of our favorite kind of build-up shows we've done, because that's why we love doing the build-up show, going live on the night of the PLE and talk about the last-minute rumors and stuff like that. And you never know what's going to happen on these nights. Who's been spotted at the hotel? Who's kind of signed a new deal? Whatever it may be. But is there a storm going to stop the show? But do you remember they went to Drew McIntyre and he just kind of off the cuff gave this incredible promo backstage. And a few of us on the channel have referred to it a few times, but it's just stuff like that makes you realize how good Drew is. It's funny as well because you think about the time when WWE was way more scripted in promos, and I do think there is still an element of that. But these shows definitely feel a lot less scripted. Because it's not going out there for like TV time when they need to get across a point a certain amount of time. Then you've got ads to worry about. The next segment's coming up. Here, they just kind of go with it. So I imagine these people like doing this as well. These wrestlers like being on these shows. Cole called him Drew out as a hypocrite. No, I'm not going to do that. He's a big scary man. He could rip my head off. Look at him there. And if you haven't already, check out our interview with Drew McIntyre. Nice time to fit that in, right? Got two actually. There's one on the main Rebellious Noise channel as well. That is when he really looked like he was going to rip my head off. He was much nicer then. Well, he was nice both times, but he's a scary dude. Hey, hi, boy. Is Abu Sad? I hope I'm saying your name right, mate. Thank you so much for joining us, buddy. Hope you're looking forward to Bash in Berlin. And I hope you're enjoying this kickoff show as well. You think CM Punk is going to win? Yeah, I think CM Punk's going to win as well. I really do. I think he's got to win, right? Because Drew won the last one. Punk's not really done much since he's come back because of the injury. He kind of needs to look strong. He can't look like he's come back and he keeps losing. So I would agree with you, mate. Drew basically calling Punk out by saying he's literally the bad guy. I am the good guy. I'm telling the truth. Like we said earlier on, quite often you get the heel that's basically in the right, but they're going about it the wrong way, so they're the bad guy, right? So saying a lot of people backstage have asked him to take out Punk. I've been loving this feud, by the way, guys. They've done such a good job. Oh, he said something about Germany there. I think in German, because he said something which I didn't catch, and Deutschland, and they booed him. So what was that? Well, there you go. So the first thing we've covered there, of course, in depth, is CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, a match that I'm sure many of you are looking forward to seeing as well. I'm thinking that Punk would introduce his Nexus once again. You know what? I loved the Nexus, mate. I got to be honest. It was, looking back on it, there were certainly things about it that should have been better. And even at the time, I think we all knew they weren't kind of pushed the way they should have been. Even though they were a big part of programming, the main thing is, this is pre-Punk, of course. They should have won it that SummerSlam. They should have beat Team WWE. When Punk got involved, I was hopeful. And then you had the core, didn't we? But yeah, neither of them really worked out as well as they could have. Yeah, that's thanks to your comments, buddy. But yeah, I was a big fan of Nexus, man. I wanted an armband and everything. You know, it was. I thought it was a great start when they first came on board and they destroyed the ring. Obviously, a bit controversial with that as well because Daniel Bryan gets fired and then gets brought back against them in Team WWE as well. But I really liked them. I thought they were fantastic. Obviously, being a Brit, it was really cool to see Wade Barrett at the time in a prominent position. But at the same time, equally frustrating, as I say, not seeing him and the group themselves get what I felt they deserved. And it was a bit of a difficult time, right, with John Cena kind of apparently needing to win all the time. And as much as I love Cena, seeing him today and appreciate him and stuff like that, I do think we've kind of washed over a lot of frustration that a lot of us actually felt. You know, we forgive it now. We're all older and wiser and it's okay. But at the same time, I definitely think they missed the trick there with the Nexus because of the storyline with John Cena, especially. Or join Rhea Ripley's gang. That's going to be... yeah, I mean, the Terror Twins as they are at the moment, that's a good point. I mean, they could grow, right? Because you've got the Judgment Day, and at the moment, unless they end this feud soon, and it would feel a little bit premature to do so, you'd imagine that Rhea and Damien need a bit of help, right? Yeah, maybe it would be Punk. I do think the Punk Drew storyline is going to continue after this, though, and go into Bad Blood and maybe be what becomes the Hell in a Cell match. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I think they do need some sort of friends with them if they're going to continue this feud against the Judgment Day. The best idea, obviously, would be Edge, but he's under contract elsewhere, so kind of ironic now. But if you do want to know what kind of person Damian Priest would like to join a stable he's in, you can check out our interview with a man. He actually tells us at the time when he was in the Judgment Day who he thought, what kind of character would fit in well with their little gang at the time. We've also had great conversations with, as I mentioned earlier on, Rhea Ripley, his former Judgment Day friend, but current Terror twin. And also talking about the Judgment Day, we've had some great conversations with the likes of Finn Balor as well. So if you haven't already, check those out. We're seeing a promo package here at the moment on the Kickoff show about this feud between Rhea and Dom, which sounds weird to say, but the love triangle, I guess, you've got going on with Liv Morgan as well. Your new subscriber, now you deserved it, though. Oh, thank you so much, buddy. Really appreciate that. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for your comments as well. We appreciate anyone that's joined us, whether it's live or on demand. Of course, we're going to be live Saturday night as well. Going into the PLE, we're going to have our build-up show. But this will be repeated on the earlier portion of that stream as well. So you may see this again. And then after the show, we're going to have our instant reaction review as well, guys. So if you haven't already,
like our new friend here, please subscribe. And we'd love to see you as we dig deeper into Bash in Berlin on Saturday as well, with the build-up show and instant reaction. Back to Friday night, though. We've got Dom and Liv. I nearly said Rhea, walking hand in hand. I weren't sure from the camera angle earlier. Well, not just that. They're on the stage. She jumps up, legs wrapped around him. A little bit of a nose kiss there. No actual lips touching, though. Liv saying that Michael Cole didn't announce him with enough energy or excitement. Well, Liv straight up calling Michael Cole out. You used to be such a fan. Do you not like me anymore? She says. Michael Cole could be jealous of Dominic. That is true, Liv. Good work here from Liv and Dom. I think they worked very well together, I'll be honest. I mean, Dom and Rhea was amazing. But, I mean, talking about amazing, look at that. Dominic puts the microphone to his face and just boo. So good. And I mean, it needs to be said, it's not just Dom's great work. It's the great work of the people that have been around him. Rhea and the rest of the former Judgment Day, Liv at the moment, and the people who's worked against as well. Rey Mysterio, of course, his dad, Edge as well, we mentioned earlier on. That's weird. I've never really made that connection before, that he turned on Rey and Edge, but then Edge formed the Judgment Day, and he joined the Judgment Day, but Edge was already gone. I've never really made that connection before. Oh, Spanish. At least a guy with a Spanish flag will probably understand. Oh, here we go. Rhea Ripley's song's hit. And I think you're going to get both of them. Because that's what we saw on Raw, right? They came out to Rhea's song, which was pretty cool. Usually, in these scenarios, it would be the man's song, which I'm not saying it should be that way, but I think it's really cool because Rhea has, I think, a way more recognizable song. Great to see these guys like get good reactions as well. I think they've done the split of the Judgment Day really, really well. And again, I'm excited to see where else they go with this because I think it's a great feud. Whether or not they need another member to their little gang, give themselves a new stable or a name, I don't know. But it feels like we're getting both versions of the Judgment Day at the moment, you know? Them as heels and faces, so... Because they're still very much like they were. In style and whatever else. Rhea holding up a fan's painting of herself there, it seems, which is pretty cool. And then they're singing Rhea's song as well. Pretty cool. Yeah, definitely a good idea to come out to her theme and not Damian Priest's. When I think of Damian Priest theme songs, I think the one I still go to is the one he had when he was in NXT with the old Archer of Infamy gimmick. All right. Another comment here. Dude, I'm thinking that Roman versus Rock will be going to be next WrestleMania. And CM Punk versus Rollins, these two matches would be going to make goosebumps at that relevant time. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think both those matches feel... I mean, they were both going to be on the past WrestleMania, weren't they? So I think next year makes sense for both of them. I think this Drew storyline with Punk's been amazing. And I'm glad that Steph stepped out of it now so that they can do their feud separate, you know? And I do think it probably would be at WrestleMania. I think that'd be great. Hopefully it does work that way. And then Rock and Roman's going to be amazing. But then we've got Rock and Cody as well. So when's that going to happen? Back to what's going on at the moment, though. Once again, thanks for your comment, nobody. Bash in Berlin, kickoff show. Damien and Rhea really kind of hyping up at the moment. And it's funny because they both came out together at SummerSlam, well, for the kickoff of SummerSlam last month. And I remember doing the same stream on this very channel, talking about the same thing about how they come out together, and it felt like there was a real rift in the Judgment Day. And they were acting like baby faces. And obviously, it kind of seemed that way. There was going to be some sort of term, whether it would be Dominic or Finn or something like that. And of course, that's what we got. But it's interesting that a month later, we're getting them come out and doing the same thing, acting the same way, but not in the Judgment Day. That's Mammy Chan. So she refers to him as the new Judgment Day. Oh, yeah, good point. They ran away. I didn't even notice that. That they were actually gone. So, yeah, call them the new Judgment Day. Of course, there was that rumor a little while ago that they were going to be renamed Street Trash, which probably not great. She mentioned Bad Bunny there. I actually watched his entrance in Puerto Rico against Damien recently. Of course, they were friends in storyline originally. That could be a new member because he's due a return, right? I mean, these two and Bad Bunny versus Judgment Day would be pretty cool. Oh, and the Yeats. Maybe Jey Uso could join their cause, but seems like there's another fight he might want to be involved with as well. Of course, with the bloodline. I also said the Bloodment Day then. I mean, they could accept Truth as well, right? Our Truth could join them. So Rhea and Damien on the kickoff show referring themselves as the Glue. They kept Judgment Day together. And Damien calls the fans his new family. Well, the fans definitely behind the Terror Twins, and apparently from their cheering, as Rhea's asked, that they think a yes chant now as well, that they think they're going to get the win. All right, so there we go. Theme song of Judgment Day. Well, not Judgment Day. Damian Priest is playing now. But I swear it just said All Rise for the Outlaw and All Rise for the Judgment Day. So you've got to change that if that's the case, right? So went in with Rhea's song, go out with Damien's, which is probably the best way to do it. So if they win, we'll probably see the same thing tomorrow, I reckon. Be cool to see if Damien does the leg stomp as well that Rhea does in her entrance. All right, here we go, guys. We're talking about the World Heavyweight title. Gunther, of course, to defend against Randy Orton. There's a chance we'll see history here. 16-time world champion Randy Orton. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he will get to 16, but I think he'll be at 15 for a little bit longer. Because in my opinion, he should turn heel on Cody, right? And that's That's another conversation. We'll get there. Don't worry, guys. If you do want to hear my thoughts a little bit more in depth on some of these matches, by the way, check out our prediction show that we uploaded just a few days ago on this channel. We've also uploaded them in the form of shorts as well. So if that's more your bag, then check that out instead. But we'd appreciate either way if you did check out our predictions. And again, on Saturday night, if you're not already with us on Saturday night, because as I say, this is going to be replayed on the earlier part of that stream, but we will be going live on Saturday to get ourselves and yourselves hyped up for the PLE in the form of our build-up show as well. And again, after the show goes off the air, as in Bash in Berlin itself, we're going to have our instant reaction review show as well. So thanks to everyone once again who's joined us live or on demand for this show. We really do appreciate you. And while we watch the rest of this Gunther and Randy Orton hype package, just want to encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let you know about some more content we've got on this channel as well. We've also had some great conversations with the current World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. As you can see, he was IC champ at the time. We spoke about his long and lengthy reign with Ludwig Kaiser, who you would imagine we're going to see either right now on the Kickoff show or at Bash in Berlin, or at least surely at Bash in Berlin. He deserves to have this moment. He's been a phenomenal wrestler in the past few years himself. He's done some really good things, especially when he stepped away from Gunther a little bit more as well. It was nice to see them come back together recently, but he was doing some great stuff on his own. But we've also got great interviews on this channel from the likes of, who we saw just a moment ago, Liv Morgan. She was a lot kind of happy-go-lucky, a lot more happy-go-lucky back then, of course, but a great interview nonetheless. We mentioned it earlier on, some great conversations with the likes of Drew McIntyre. We also had great conversations with the likes of Kevin Owens and Tommaso Ciampa as well. So if you haven't already, once again, please subscribe and check out more of our content. This weekend, though, we are going all in. Oh, that's an awkward thing to say, right? Well, last weekend was all in with AEW, quite literally. But we are going all in on Bash in Berlin content, at least. Well, at least it rhymes. Again, with our build-up show, our instant reaction. Of course, what you're watching right now is our reactions to the Kickoff show as well. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. And again, check out the predictions we've done throughout the week. Got a few more videos coming your way this throughout the weekend. As I mentioned earlier on, Lucas is actually out there in Berlin representing Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling. So if you see him, go and say hello. And he's going to be giving us a bit of content to share as well. Basically, his experiences out there in Germany and what it's like to be there in person. So do stick with us. Again, we're going to have some great insight from Lucas, as always, but even more exciting this time around because he's going to be there in person at the Uber Arena in Berlin. But you're watching us live on the watch-along of the Kickoff show, and we appreciate it, guys. Once again, please subscribe. Drop us some comments if you haven't already. It's been great to have some comments today as well. And as we always do, we appreciate them on the build-up show and instant reaction as well. Showing the Berlin Wall there. So they're talking about the 97 show. Again, it was Monday Night Raw. I'm going to see if I can get up the card for that. What do we have? Psycho Sid defeated Mankind to retain the world title. Sadly, of course, Psycho Sid just passed away. The Bulldog beat Owen Hart for the European title, of course, in the final. That was it. Yeah, of course. Okay, talking about titles and Europeans, though, we've now got Gunther's entrance. A big cheer for the Austrian. And here we go. Great reaction, as you would expect, right? Austrian flag there as well. Again, guys, important to remember he's not from Germany, although he did make his name there. As Dan pointed out in his predictions, it's kind of like when they explained Cardiff as Drew's hometown almost, even though he's not Welsh, he's Scottish. But hey, made his name throughout the UK, right? Huge chance now for Gunther. All right, some chanting in German now. So just like we saw at Backlash again with the French chants, Gunther's really kind of hyping this up as well, which is interesting because I did wonder what way he'd play it. You know, sometimes you get the heel straight away, knowing that they're a hometown person or somewhat in this case, and shutting it down straight away and trying to be mega heel about it. Gunther's not done that. And it kind of would be what his character would, I'd imagine, would usually do. So that's quite odd. So Michael Cole says, long time since he's been cheered like this, but there's a reason for it. And now he's letting us know, again, the history of Gunther in Germany. Talking about the history here, West Side Extreme, of course, huge German promotion. You deserve it chance now as well. You got to imagine a lot of these people, as Cole kind of alluded to there, would have seen his journey, would have gone to see him live at West Side Extreme Wrestling. All right, he said something there in German, and he said English, I'm sure. Is he saying I'm not going to talk in English? Okay, he's already back to English. It's always interesting, though, isn't it? Especially these big international PLEs where the kind of representation of that part of the world, at least, is a heel. Like when they did Puerto Rico, at least they had the choice of Bad Bunny going up against the heel Damian Priest. So we're great to get some subtitles, but as it's live, we're not getting that. But when we come live on the build-up show on Saturday night, we'll try and maybe look back on this and see what was said, seeing as I assume by then someone would have put the translation up online. All right, it's all fan service now, guys. If you can understand German, great. I'm not quite there yet. Learn a bit of Spanish at the moment, but German, maybe that'll be next. Over 800 days as champion, they said. The NXT UK title, of course. Yeah, won the King of the Ring as well. IC world titles, done pretty well. Very well, I should say. I mean, look, he's been champion for most of his time in WWE. Oh, yeah. So he's a full-time champion. They mentioned, I swear they said he could win it for 16. He ain't win it 2 times, is he? It's Cena that is at 16. No, but no, wait, hold on. I'm confused now. Randy has held the title. Yeah, 15 times. Okay. So he could equal, obviously, the big famous one, Ric Flair, 16, recognized by WWE at least. Well, whatever Gunther's saying, the fans seem to enjoy it. Yeah, great shot there, the Uber Arena. Be interesting to know what the ticket sales are. Let's have a look at the possible setup at least. So for concerts and MMA is 17,000. You'd imagine it'd be somewhat close to that capacity wise for wrestling as well. Basketball 15,000, ice hockey 14,200. So I'd imagine you know, you can imagine maybe 16,000 at least. And would it sell out? Probably. But here we go. Randy Orton. I'll be interested to see how they react here. I think it's going to be well. It's a safe bet, right? I mean, they're singing his song. It's looking good, right? Because they're going to still treat him as a babyface, even though they understand and respect Gunther's history and they want him to do well because of that. They've done well here because if they get a kind of a less secure babyface, it could be risky when the fans just straight up turn on them. Like, even if they did the tour and he could get through that, you know, it would be fine. His stock is high enough. As you can tell from them singing voices right here. And Randy's soaking it up as well. I always love the bit when they sing the kind of yell, basically. Again, a lot of flags there representing different nations around Europe. It's really good to see this international flavor, which I'm sure you'll get at the show as well. But again, that's why this is great. You know, seeing them go international. It's not just the country they go to, it's the neighboring countries as well that get to make it a little bit more durable for them. But we don't want them to be glorified house shows, do we? No way. Here we go. Orton saying he's German, surely. Oh, there we go. Orton says he's done his ancestry and he thinks he's 70% German. Almost. He said he's always enjoyed Heineken. I mean, that is a Dutch beer, if I'm honest, Randy. But he likes sauerkraut on his bratwurst. I could do with a bratwurst right now. All right, so Michael Cole saying we've got an interview with Randy Orton for Peacock. Some mic drop moments, apparently. Okay, interesting question. Cole said it's taken you many years to embrace all this and the fans love. And he's saying he's enjoyed this. He's been doing this for a while, but he's got a second chance with that surgery he had. I mean, this is also pretending he was never a babyface before. He has been babyface before. But when he turns, it's going to be big. He's got to turn on Cody, man. One more heel run at least from Randy. Oh. But this is great. I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong. Because he can actually take on that kind of love, you know. He can show outwardly that he enjoys it and appreciates it as a veteran, you know. But, come on. I'd love to see one more time kind of crazy Randy Orton go mad on Cody Rhodes. Okay, so he's saying it again. He'll be 15th time. What? I've got to check this out. Okay, no, he could become 15 time. Right, okay. So I swear someone earlier said... Anyway, whatever. It is what it is, boys. Thanks for letting me know, Michael Cole. Seen a chance. Okay. So I know a lot of people liked the idea before of Cena and Orton, maybe their final match. One of them is trying to get somehow like better than the other or get the record, which would be pretty cool. And of course, Cena is retiring now within a year, apparently. Within next year, at least. Okay, so again, shining light on the awkward finish at King of the Ring, where, of course, it legit messed up. Very awkward. Randy said he's got a lot of time left. He's signed 5 years. Randy said he wants 15, 16, 17 reigns. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that this is good for you to go to, by the way. And again, it protects the kind of potential backlash of someone going against a babyface in Berlin against Gunther by having someone secure in their position like Randy. And also they can play off of, again, the King, Queen of the Ring PLE issue, or the King of the Ring finals at least. So Michael Cole now saying that Gunther is scared. Okay, so Gunther's calling the World Heavyweight Championship the greatest prize that the sport has to offer. I mean, we all know it's a secondary title still, but it can change, Gunther. It can. You know, the funny thing about this is it can play into... So Randy went to speak then when they were chanting for Gunther, and then they started chanting for Randy. It can play into a potential heel turn where he says, people booed me in Berlin or something like that, depending on what happens at the PLE. Orton says he doesn't care who you're chanting for. They're going to make history at Bash in Berlin. Again, it's the best way to play it. Oh, yeah, he's wise for him. He's doing the old John Cena, right? I know some people don't like me, but that's okay as long as you make noise. Right? When they were desperately trying to explain why people booed Cena. But there's a little bit of a different scenario. Here we go, face-to-face though, between the two. You're surely going to be closing the show, right? And speaking of which, it looks like we are closing the kickoff here as well. Will Bash in Berlin end with a similar image as far as what we see here with Gunther standing tall with the world title raised in his hand as well? Or will it be Randy Orton, guys? I'll be honest with you. I don't think it will be Randy Orton. It would be a massive shock, and I'll be honest, kind of a disappointment as well. As much as I love Randy, as much as I wouldn't mind if scenarios kind of worked the right way around, him having another reign before he retired. But Not taking it off of Gunther, not here. But let's kind of quickly run through the card before we do get out of here, guys. We've got Gunther versus Randy Orton, of course, as we've just seen there, potentially going to be the main event. I think it will be. The kickoff show also told us a little bit more about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre as far as, I guess, how the fans feel about them in person. As we mentioned earlier on, Drew McIntyre very much feels like that heel who's in the right, but these fans do not care about that. They were very much behind CM Punk. We also saw the Terror Twins, and we saw Liv and Dominic, where Liv and Dominic ran away. The representation of the Judgment Day didn't want to stick around for the Terror Twins, but we will see them go head-to-head at Bash in Berlin. Anyway, didn't have anything on the kickoff show referring to the women's tag title match, I should say, between Fyre and Dawn and Cargill and Belair. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there as well. And of course, another big world title match in the form of the WWE Undisputed title, Cody Rhodes defending against Kevin Owens. Again, we didn't see anything relating to that on the kickoff show as far as those guys coming out or anything like that. But we will be covering those matches more in depth on the build-up show as well. So I appreciate everyone that's joined us for this kick-along, watch-along, kick-along, watch-along, kick-off, watch-along. There we go, is what I'm trying to say. We will be back for our build-up show as well. Now, if you are watching on Saturday night, you might be a little confused as to that, because as I say, we are going to play this portion of the show as a replay at the start of our build-up show. So if you are watching live on Saturday, stay tuned. The build-up's coming up next. But if you are joining us as we are recording this on Friday afternoon, I thank you so much for being with us, guys. SmackDown is tonight. It's going to be, I'm sure, a great show, and it would be a great way to see what the German fans are ready to bring inside the arena as well. As I mentioned earlier on, I'm gutted to not be over there in Germany, but I'm glad we do have Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling representation over there in the form of Lucas as well. So stick with us over the weekend on this channel. We're going to be breaking down every single one of these matches on our build-up show. We're going to be talking last-minute predictions, how our predictions may have changed from our original predictions. If you haven't seen those already, check them out on this channel, whether it be the long-form video or individually as shorts. Would love to hear your thoughts on what you think of our predictions and, of course, what you think is going to happen at Bash in Berlin as well. But as I say, on the build-up show, we're going to be breaking down every single one of these matches in depth. We'll be talking about what's happened at SmackDown. We'll hopefully have some words from Lucas to find out what the atmosphere was like there in Berlin as well. And we'll be talking about last minute kind of changes, as I say, if there's any kind of new matches added. We'll be talking about if anything exciting happens on the Countdown show. We'll be covering all the kind of big stories coming out of SmackDown as well. Then, of course, after the PLE, we'll be back once again live with an instant reaction review. So, guys, you don't want to miss this one. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be breaking down every single one of these matches. And again, potentially even more if they do add another. You never know. They might even add a match on the pre-show as well. One we haven't shown the graphic there for yet is because, of course, it doesn't have an official graphic because we don't know who's actually in the match, but we do only know one side of it. That's LA Knight defending the US title in an open challenge. It's going to be really interesting to see as the rumors start flying around about who it could possibly be. So once again, join us for the build-up show where we'll be breaking down every single one of those rumors. Will it be someone on the roster? Will it be a returning figure? Will it be someone like Ludwig Kaiser in his home country? Will it be Ilya Dragunov, someone who a lot of people think may end up being linked with Imperium, or maybe go against Imperium? That could be something that we see at Bash in Berlin as well. But either way, again, we'll be covering it all on the build-up show, going into it as far as the hype and speculation, and then on the instant reaction review. But this right here has been the watch-along for the Kickoff show. Thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Check out more of our content. We've got some great interviews on this channel with WWE superstars from over the years, and we'll be covering Bash in Berlin in depth as the weekend goes on. And again, we'd love to have your kind of thoughts and opinions on what is going on over there in Germany as well. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I've been Scott. This is the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel, and we'll see you on the next one.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews in-depth features and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
What is up, guys? Lucas here, reporting from Berlin as we're about to leave for Friday Night SmackDown, which at time of recording this has two things that are confirmed for it. We have seen lots of wrestling fans going around Berlin, which is quite interesting because Berlin's quite a interesting city to kind of have this clash, really, of wrestling fans meets this historic city. We've enjoyed seeing Checkpoint Charlie and many other sites of that. But anyway, tonight, SmackDown, we understand we have a match that I really thought that they had put on the pay-per-view. That is LA Knight's US title Open Challenge. And surely they've got to go for European feel, haven't they? They've got to go for European feel. And I believe the person who should answer this is none other than Ilya Dragunov. I believe this will be one fantastic match. A really good spotlight for him, in his somewhat home territory. I don't want to kind of upset political boundaries there. It'd be a fantastic match. I don't see him winning. Obviously, LA recently just won the championship off Logan Paul. I think that'd be a cracker with pop and reaction to the show. Also announced, we have Queen of the Ring and current women's champion Nia Jax taking on Mia Yim in a street fight. Now Mia Yim, she went down to NXT. She did some real good kind of street fights, Jade alongside with Jade Parker, but she's competing this weekend in America, the NXT Women's Championship. But yeah, I think this would be a cracking contest, but I don't see anyone beating the Queen. Anyway, let's get to the Uber Arena for night one of our 2-night stay here in Berlin. See you soon.
There we go. What's happening first? LA Knight. Oh, okay. First thing we're going to see is the LA Knight US title Open Challenge. I did not expect this. I actually felt like this should be the main event or like middle of the show at least. So let's see who the surprise is going to be. And this is going to be an interesting one because LA Knight, of course, being a babyface, usually a surprise is someone to get the fans up on their feet. So it'd be disappointing if it was kind of your regular old kind of heel already on the roster, unrelated to Germany, So we'll see how we go. I like this new version of his theme, by the way. A few more guitars. Great. Again, even when you go to these international places, they're so excited to see LA Knight still. There we go. Some German announcers here as well. Looking forward to this one. I mean, who's it going to be? Surely, Ludwig Kaiser. I think that top of the list for me, Ludwig. Ilya Dragunov, second. And beyond that, I don't know. As I say, Dan predicted Santos Escobar. I guess they've been in a feud, but surely this is about the surprise. And just like with Gunther and Randy Orton, you've got to have someone strong enough to kind of take the hit as the babyface. So we'll see if that happens with LA Knight. Because they're going to cheer Ludwig or Ilya, whoever it may be. Unless it is, again, the only other option is kind of, oh, okay, is it them? As LA says, 27 years since that Raw we mentioned earlier on. And whoever it is not going to win the title, surely. Like, the pop will be the person coming out, not the win. Because it'd be weird if a heel won the US title in Germany. Let's see that. So only last week did he put the title up and defend it successfully. So it's very soon for him to lose it. You deserve it chant there from the fans in the Uber Arena. They're very much on his side. I wonder where Lucas is. I should be looking out for him, right? Oh, he's on the capital run then. Does it in the US capital now and the German capital. The capital championship. There we go. Open challenge. All right, who's it going to be? Ludwig Kaiser. Good. Good. That's who it should be. But it should be on the PLE. But good. What a moment. I mean, when they first announced this PLE, I thought, I'll be on the card. Like, how have they not done that? But anyway, let's enjoy what it is. All right, so Ludwig's laying down the challenge. Says you want to defend that against the very best all over the world. It's weird seeing him act as a babyface, basically, get the cheap pop. Me and the entire Berlin. There we go. Oh, I had a feeling they'd do this. Ludwig is hinting that, well, he's saying straight up, if he wins the title, he's going to turn it into the European title. Which I think, look, they toyed around with that idea a few years ago, didn't they, with Rusev, and that he was going to turn it into the US into the European. I don't like the idea of turning the title into another. AEW have been doing it to death recently, and that's not a knock on AEW. I enjoy the product sometimes. But come on. Oh, LA's gone with Gunther Stooge. But I mean, he should have his own European Championship. Had its own lineage. It was his own thing. This is a bit weird that they've just had a chat Is the match later on? Is that what's going on? Because surely there's an ad soon, right? All right, there's the music. Okay, so the match is not even happening. Okay. Oh, it's next though. Okay, there's that at least, I guess. Strange. Yeah, it could have been a big moment on the PLE, if I'm honest. But cool. Good start to SmackDown, I guess. If it was a regular SmackDown, but that's the thing, it's not a regular SmackDown, is it? So a little bit of a shame with that. Either way, guys, what are you thinking of SmackDown so far? Are you with me? Thinking that this should have just been on the PLE? Or do you think this is the right place for it? Bit weird for them to come out with a little promo battle and then have a break, and then like the heat should have just been there. Music hits, boom, I'm there. It's me versus you. I'm German, but maybe I'll win it in Germany. Whereas I feel like the crowd and us sitting at home are going to start going dip, 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 dip. And the hype's not going to be there unless he wins it. Which, again, as much as I love Ludwig, and I think it'd be a great moment, it's not right for LA Knight, is it? It took LA Knight ages to win this title, to win a title, you know? So I can't see him taking it off of him. So, yeah. Ludwig's really playing up to the crowd, as you would imagine. But he's not going to do it. I mean, it does remind me of, like, when we've gone to, again, Clash, for example, the first one, when Drew came so close, and then the second one in Glasgow as well. I weren't there, but you hear from the fans who felt the same way, essentially, of, like, being kind of cheated because the hometown guy didn't get the big one when they really deserved it. Now, Ludwig, while I think he could definitely win an IC title or a US title here, well, it's over. I was going to say, while he is of that level, it doesn't make sense at the moment for LA Knight to lose it. So I don't think it's too much for the fans to be upset about, because I don't think they should have expected him to win it. It was a nice moment for him to kind of get this match, which he deserves, in front of home fans. It should have been on the PLE, and I'm sure it would have been, not that it was a bad match, it was a TV match. That's the thing. It was a good TV match. But I think it would have been a bigger deal and a better match on the PLE, but they're very much in this 5-match card format. So, but yeah, LA Knight comes away with the win. The Open Challenge is no more, and let's see what LA Knight does next with it. And I do think he should have a lengthy-ish reign. We've had a lot of long reigns recently. I know Lucas has been saying that he's not a big fan of everybody having a long reign, and we definitely had a period recently where that was the case. But let's see where this one goes. I saw this clip the other day, Gunther, he might even show it now, where he was training his neck, saying that, you know, wrestlers need to train their neck anyway, which is true. But he was doing these extra kind of routines to protect himself if an RKO was hit. And I really like that, because he's a realist. An RKO can be hit out of nowhere. But he's trying to say, look, and if it happens, I'm ready for it. So as we watch the Gunther promotional video, whoa, hold on a minute. They are acknowledging the lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship there. I'm not sure if they've done that before. They've kind of alluded to it sometimes, and they've also made it definitely feel like a brand new title at times, even though it has the same name and a similar look to the last kind of incarnation of it. But that was straight up a reference to the past. And I think it works with Gunther because he is, you know, the mat is sacred. He's the ring general and all this kind of stuff. And he's talking about earlier on the kickoff how it's the most important championship. And while it definitely feels like number 2, let's be honest, there's a chance it will become number 1. And that was the case when we did have 2 world titles in WWE before. But essentially what they showed there was the history of the title. We saw Ric Flair. We saw Harley Race. We didn't just see it, not just as the big gold, by the way, in WCW and the World Heavyweight the smaller, I guess, curvature version in WWE, we also saw Harley Race and the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the 10 pounds of gold, which is a big statement. I mean, that is the lineage that they kind of acted like the World Heavyweight Championship took on before anyway. The WCW title, and there's a real confusion in the early 90s between the WCW title, what was the international title, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, because that was a bit of a mess essentially, which was the same thing in WWE, it was the same thing in ECW, it was the same thing in TNA when they either withdrew or the company kind of threw it back towards them. But again, with the World Heavyweight Championship, they did make a point before of making it seem like it was that lineage, even if the NWA one continues elsewhere. This title also came from that, and they're saying that again. This is that historic title to WWE, at least at the moment, which is great because that's how it should be. They brought back a title that looked like the Big Gold, that had the same name as the Big Gold, and they acted like it was brand new, and it really bugged me. But that could have just simply been to, at the time, make it seem like a big deal. Whereas wrestling fans like myself and people that have been watching it for quite some time, or people into the history of wrestling, we would have liked to have been told, and it been acknowledged that this was the former championship, coming back. But maybe they saw it as kind of, we'll talk about that history when it matters, and at the moment, we'll make it seem like a big deal by saying it's a new belt. But either way, good to see it acknowledged as the same title. Oh! Meechin throws Nia through the table there with a powerbomb from the top rope. Oh, Tiffy time. No. No way. All right, she's hit Meechin with it. Is she cashing in? She's looking at Nia. Do it! Do it! Oh! She set up, not quite like Michael Myers, but enough to put the fear into Tiffy, who is now laid her on top of Meechin, who kicks out. Tiffy, what have you done? You've ruined your opportunity here. What's this? Bailey. Okay. All right. Well, I guess good for the babyface to even things up, but I wanted a moment, guys. That would have been good. I mean, we all felt it, right? It's coming. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Tiffany is going to cash in on Nia, surely. But then that may waste it because we've had that feeling. I don't know. Hey, Bailey. Oh. There's no way Meechin's winning now. No way. Ooh. Ooh. Samoan drop through the table. That's it. Surely. Drag her out of the tables. Set her up in the corner. What a shame. Again, it feels like that's what you want to see, right? Tiffy turn, but is it wasted if... Oh! It's over. Squished the trash can for sure. Man. It was just... I just threw part of the table and a bin lid at Meechin, and now whacking the trash can with a kendo stick as well. Go on, Nia. Show them what you mean. Cool. A fun ending to SmackDown. It doesn't make me want to watch Bash in Berlin. Luckily, I want to do that anyway, but you usually expect these go-home shows to do that, and that's not what the end of this show does. But if you look at it again, as I say, as this kind of pre-show to Bash in Berlin, then like it was a good ending. It was a good show. It was a good SmackDown. I do think that's what these shows are now. I do think that's what they are. These SmackDowns before PLEs are simply ways to kind of get people performing in front of that crowd, like the pre-show used to be. But yeah, either way, a good show. I don't know if Tiffany Stratton cashing in on Nia is going to be as much of a surprise if it happens in the future, because, you know, we were just kind of sort of given that already, even though she didn't do it. The moment of people going, oh, this is it, they'll have in the back of their mind this moment. So I'm not sure. Unless it's on a PLE, I guess that can make all the difference. But anyway, that has been our SmackDown watch along, guys. Really hope you enjoyed the show. Not only our show, but of course SmackDown itself. If you didn't enjoy SmackDown, I hope you at least enjoyed our show. It was a good time, though. I think the main event was a pretty fun one. Nia Jax versus Michin was good. LA Knight's Open Challenge, of course, ended up being taken up, as we would imagine, by the German Ludwig Kaiser, and I think that was a good match as well. We also got to have Lucas joining us from the Uber Arena, which was nice, wasn't it? It was really good to have his kind of input for the show, being there in person at the event. But we're hoping to do more of the same tomorrow, guys. We're going to be back again for the build-up show, as we mentioned, and we're also going to be back for the instant reaction review. But with the build-up, the idea is to get us and you in the mood for the PLE. That's what we do for every PLE, and it's some of our most fun streams on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. And then, of course, once the show is over and done with, the main WWE show that is, we are coming back at you with a review for that show with our instant reaction podcast as well. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to get those.
So just left SmackDown taping for tonight. We're giving away free Prime. Not sponsored, by the way. But yeah, SmackDown tonight, yeah, it's quite a blast, actually. It wasn't sold out, though. Cody Rhodes, hate to say it, was not sold out. There was still plenty of spare seats available. But a really, really good crowd. Really good crowd. We appreciated a lot of the show. Yeah, like I really enjoyed a lot of it, to be fair. The match between Andrade and Carmelo was an absolute banger. So there's a lot of background noise going on as people are exiting the arena. But yeah, the match between Carmelo and Andrade was a really good contest, as was the main event street fight for the Women's Championship, as Nia Jax she defeated Michin in a street fight. This is interesting because you had the tease of Tiffy time, the cash-in, which didn't quite happen, as Bayley came out. I don't know if that was a return for Bayley. Haven't seen her in a little bit. But yeah, she came out and she halted any kind of plans of a cash-in attempt, by Tiffy. And then the match got back on track, and an absolutely brutal annihilator in the trash can, and then I think Nia basically buried Michin in all her stuff. So I'm just literally watching out. There's cyclists, there's a shopping mall here for some reason. But yeah, no, it was a really good vibe tonight for WWE SmackDown, and it's really got me excited for tomorrow. A note though that I will say, which I found quite interesting, is if they still insisted on doing some promo segments, and I believe that yes, although Germans they have adopted a lot of the English language, there was some moments where it was a bit awkward sitting there to watch the promos be done to a crowd that English isn't their first language, and so that's an interesting thing coming out of it. We also saw a really good reaction for former World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, as he in a dark match segment, he defeated Dominic Mysterio in a very quick match, very quick match. And then the other dark match we just left just halfway through was Gunther taking on Ilya Dragunov. But yeah, that was my immediate thoughts coming out of SmackDown.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year. as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
All right, everyone, welcome to the live portion of the show. So good to have you with us. I appreciate those that have been with us for the past few hours, checking out the content from this past week. But we are live now, so I want to know your thoughts on Bash in Berlin. Are you excited for the show? It's not long to go. We're just over half an hour away from the big PLE in Germany. And we're going to be breaking down each and every one of these matches throughout this stream as well. We've got the Terror Twins versus Liv and Dominic, of course. We've got KO trying to get the title off of Cody Rhodes. We've got Gunther trying to keep his title from Randy and prevent him from becoming the 15-time world champion. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a strap match. And, of course, the women's tag titles on the line between Fyre and Dawn, putting them up against former champions Cargill and Belair. But once again, thank you guys to those that have joined us from earlier on in the stream before we actually got to the live portion. We've got Sparkles here giving us a hi. Apologies, can't pronounce your name. I won't butcher it. It's a live stream here. We are going live now. And then some absolute doofus in the chat talking about how it's sad to be a wrestling fan. You know what's more sad, mate? And I'll put your comments up. You wasting your time to comment, you loser. Sludge Sports is here, though, talking about winners. Sorry I'm late. I'm in Melbourne right now. It's 3 a.m. Wow. Appreciate you joining us, Sludge. Wow, you've got a late night, haven't you? But, hey, it's going to be a good one. It's always interesting to see these European shows and how it affects the kind of fandom around the world. Of course, those in the States, the main kind of home for WWE, I guess, they are watching very early in the morning at the moment. But yeah, that's dedication for you, even if this guy says it's fake and boring, just like your comments, mate. Anyway, let's kind of get into some of these matches. As I say, it's going to be a big show. We've already given our predictions earlier on in the week as far as what we think is going to happen. I don't think many of our predictions would have changed. The only thing that's different is that we thought the LA Knight match was going to happen on the PLE, and I am still quite disappointed that that's not the case. But we still got 5 pretty cool matches, I think, to look forward to. 5 matches that you would expect to see on a good PLE card, no matter where it is. I know there's a lot of kind of talk about these feeling like, glorified house shows in some ways. But yeah, not the case here. I think we do have a really good card and one that's going to be quite fun overall. So let us know what you think is going to happen tonight, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on Bash in Berlin. As you would have seen earlier on in the stream as well, Lucas is out in Germany while I'm covering it here from England. He is actually there in Berlin as well. So we're going to be hearing from him as we continue to kind of get geared up for the big PLE tonight as well. And then after the show goes off the air, of course, Bash in Berlin itself, we're going to have our instant reaction review as well. So really looking forward to that one later on. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We are the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. Would love to hear from you. And again, let us know your thoughts as far as what you think is going to happen on tonight's show. And are you happy with the card? Are you happy with this 5-match card situation still being, I guess, the norm? For me, I do think they should be kind of spreading it out a little bit more. It is frustrating when you've got matches, as I say, like the LA Knight one, not taking place on this show. It is frustrating. But we do have, again, 5 pretty fun matches to talk about. And what we're going to do now is throw it over to our review from earlier in the week. And let's see if we would change any of these opinions.
Bash in Berlin predictions. Let's go. Let's start off strong with Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk in a strap match. Now, it looked like it was going to be going this way when we saw that belt come out, and it certainly has ended up that way. Who's going to be getting the biggest whipping on the night, though? I'm going to go for a CM Punk win. I think he kind of needs it at this point. He hasn't had too many matches, of course, since he come back. He lost the opener versus Drew, so it's probably time for him to pick up the win. And I do think this will go to a third, where Drew will probably get that win as well. Either way, I think it's going to be a brutal match. Really looking forward to it. And this feud just keeps getting layer upon layer upon layer. So let's keep going.
So the first match is going to be the strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Now with this match, it's a strap match where you have to touch all four corners. Not really a format that I'm a huge fan of. I prefer the pinfall or submission option. Not come to a conclusion yet, and we are going to see a CM Punk victory, leading to Drew McIntyre CM Punk 3 inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood.
So first, I'm going to predict the match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which has been made a strap match. Now, in this contest, I think I need CM Punk to win. I think that Drew obviously won at SummerSlam via shenanigans involving Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is now not involved. I think CM Punk ultimately needs this win. And I believe this will now tie them one apiece. And they will go on to Bad Blood next month, in October, and have a Hell in a Cell match. So I think it makes sense for Punk to win this match. I know he's a big fan of old school wrestling, as am I, and this is a really good stipulation for this feud, I believe. And without Rollins being any part of it, it allows them to just finally have the actual ring to themselves with a stipulation. I believe this will be brutal, but I do believe that CM Punk will leave the victor.
Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Now, it's too early, surely, for Cody Rhodes to be losing his title to someone like KO at this very moment in time. Whether or not KO is going to turn heel, I know they've been toying around with that lately. I don't know, because I think someone else who's on the card later on should be the one to turn on Cody. But for me, ultimately, I think Cody needs to win this match and needs to keep the title. Doesn't need to go on KO just yet. I think he's someone to just get us to that next feud, whatever that might be.
Next up, we have Cody Rhodes taking on Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship of all of the United States, Canada, the world, whatever they're calling the title nowadays. But yeah, I think this is a fairly routine victory for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
The next match to predict is the match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, and it's for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, this is a bit of a difficult one because I like both guys. I really do. I've always been a KO fan, and I really like Cody. But this isn't the match that he loses the championship in. You know, it again is like a kind of filler match. It'll be a very good match. Obviously, Kevin Owens, one of the best guy kind of out there, and he's always a safe bet for this thing. But I'm not really a fan of these matches that don't have much build. More so than just, we want just to have a title match. And I think outside of Kevin Owens going full on heel mode, I don't see a reason for him to win the championship. So I will say Cody Rhodes to be the victor.
Now, the Terror Twins of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley up against Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan representing the Judgment Day. How things have changed, right? Well, this is going to be, I think, a really highly anticipated match. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's probably the one I'm maybe most looking forward to because it's got such an incredible story at the moment. For me, though, it needs to be the baby faces of Rhea and Priest winning this one, and I think it will be. This feud has a lot of legs going forward. Maybe they'll even get a new friend to help them. Either way, Priest and Rhea for me.
Next up, we have the tag team match, a mixed tag team match. It is Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley taking on Dominic Mysterio and the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Now, I feel as though the Terror Twins will have to win this one, in all fairness, because when you think about it, like, what is it, Liv and Dominic, you know, how long are they going to keep this one on for? You know, it's I think, yeah, they have to win this one, really, Rhea and Damian. So Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest for me are coming out of this one victorious.
The next contest on the Predict is the Mixed Tag Team Contest, which I'm actually kind of excited about in a little way. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the people in the match, but anyway, the Mixed Tag Team match as Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley take on Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan, which is interesting now as Judgment Day is no longer any original members are in that faction. I believe obviously Liv winning at SummerSlam last month or recently. I think that Rhea's got to get something surely. But is that something her just doing a Riptile and Dom and then he'll still win? Oh, do I do a DQ? It's a really difficult one. I'm going to have to pick, based off my other predictions, as I put it's two baby faces, that I think the villains will win. So yeah, I'm going to go with Dom and Liv to win this one.
World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther defending in Germany against Randy Orton. Now, of course, he's not from Germany, but he cut his teeth there, and it will be somewhat a homecoming for the Austrian. But will this be a win for the Austrian? Yeah, for me, it has to be. I think giving Orton the title at this point doesn't really make sense. Just like KO is getting Cody to that next stop, I think Randy is getting Gunther to that next stop. I think he will win another title before the dust is settled, but I don't think Randy needs to win it at this moment in time. If anything, I think this should lead to Randy getting a taste of gold and getting a little bit obsessed with it, and it therefore leading to a jealousy-based feud against Cody Rhodes.
The final match I'm going to predict is probably what is going to be the main event. It is going to be Gunther in what WWE are describing as his hometown, even though he's from Austria and this is in Germany, but hey ho. Bit like when they were over here for Clash at the Castle, the first one, and it was in Wales and it was Drew McIntyre's hometown, but anyway. Yeah, so this is Gunther taking on Randy Orton, looking to become a 15-time world champion, Randy Orton. But fear not, WWE fans, Gunther is coming out of this one as still the reigning and defending World Heavyweight Champion.
And the final match to predict is the match which will most likely be the main event of the pay-per-view or PLE, and that is the match for the World Heavyweight Championship as Gunther takes on Randy Orton. I really want Randy Orton to win, but he's not gonna. I mean, it's Gunther's first defense. I think this match really will be, I think it could be a match of the year contender, to be deadly honest. I think it really has the power to be really strong. But yeah, Gunther's not losing on his first defence. They've had a lot of kind of shenanigans involved in the World Championship. Though I will just caveat this and say I really just hope that Gunther doesn't do another, I can't do another like 2-year run. I mean, I'm fine in being dominant for a few months, but you know, there are other people. I'm a massive fan of Gunther, but I think this is banging, and I think it's a good way to kind of fix the mistake that they did, obviously in that finish at King of the Ring. With the shoulder not being down.
The WWE Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line at Bash at Berlin when Alba, Fyre and Isla Dawn take on the team of Bianca, Belair and Jade Cargill with the championship on the line. So for this one, I will go with Bianca, Belair and Jade Cargill to regain the Tag Team Championship.
All right, so those were our original predictions from the other day. And I'll be honest, I don't think many of my opinions have changed. I don't think the other guys have changed too much either. Of course, we've had a Raw and SmackDown since our first predictions came in. But for those that joined us on the Kickoff show last night, you'll know that most of that feels the same feud-wise going into tonight as well. But yeah, still really looking forward to it. Getting myself in the mood. I've got a big old German Stein once again, like we did on the Kickoff last night. And thanks again to everyone that joined us on that and live for our SmackDown watch-along. We don't usually do them, but hey, it's a special occasion, so we thought we'd go live. And you are joining us now on the build-up show. And we are really hyping ourselves up for Bash in Berlin. And we're going to do that now by listening to Lucas, who is actually, as I say, out there in Berlin. So he's going to let us know what the vibe is like at the moment. So let's bring Lucas to the stage.
What is up, guys? It's Lucas here reporting from a hotel room in Berlin. I've just kind of come back from seeing a few sites and going to go back out again very shortly. But I thought I'd give kind of like a preview, kind of overall thought piece on last night, dissect it a bit more, as obviously the video that I did send previously. I know I was coming out the arena. I don't know why I keep saying stadium, it's an arena. Coming out the arena. Look, first things first, the Uber Arena, formerly known as the Mercedes-Benz Arena, is a really fantastic arena, actually. It was only opened in 2008, so obviously it's still got that kind of newness to it, and they seem to be looking after it very, very well. It's nice and airy inside, nice and seats are quite spacious as well, which is controversial, well not controversial, but it's interesting because I found that German public transport, all the seats are very, very tight. And, you know, the Germans, I think along the Netherlands, are some of the tallest individuals kind of in Europe. So I found that really weird that they decide to have such restricted space when it comes to their public transportation. But that's a trainer to me anyway, speaking, I guess. But in terms of the arena, like really fantastic. You know, we got a cheeky little upgrade, maybe self-imposed. I won't say anything else after that, but maybe cut that part, Scott, actually. Yeah, we had, fantastic kind of seats, for tonight. Really was able to see everything. We're behind the stage, which made it kind of a unique experience in a way, because we kind of had to hear the entrance music and then kind of see the wrestler, which made it a bit more interesting. But there are some kind of instant hit stings in there, like Cody Rhodes is one, or Kevin Owens example, that straight away who's coming out. But there was a bit of hesitation at some of the themes because they have changed, which probably needs its own pod at this point, being deadly honest. The amount of good themes that they've thrown away and had to replace with kind of the newer themes that don't hit as much, like Baron Corbin. That End of Days were probably the best theme in the business, I'd say, at one point. Probably up there for one of the best themes of all time. And, they changed it to something which is unrecognisable. But yeah, you had, I touched upon last night, the main event was for the, SmackDown at least, was for the Women's Championship as Nia Jax. She defeated Michin in a street fight. I love Michin just being toured around as this kind of street fight queen. She really puts a lot of effort into these things, I guess. She really kind of commits to doing that kind of stuff. And it's interesting that in 2024 now, it shows obviously where we're at. If it was 20 years ago, this would be like a special attraction, like, oh my God, blah, can't believe this is happening. But in 2024, the women main event quite often. So it's kind of refreshing, and it was just kind of nice to kind of not have to have that caveat, added to the match. I thought the match was really, really good. I think Nia, she's really improved. I get that she's probably still got her haters and still got people who think, of her run from before. But I think she did a really, really good job. Other highlights of the night, we included another tag team match, which I found quite interesting, as Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. They were bested by Humberto and Angel Garza. I think they've got different names now. I don't know. Was it Berto and Garza? Whatever it is. They were Latin lovers. They're now part of Legado del Fantasma. I'm not too sure actually what they're part of actually. So let's leave it at that. Humberto and Angel Garza, who just signed new contracts, or Humberto at least did. And you have to imagine that Triple H will be seeing this and seeing, the people who are really kind of behind his vision, his ethos now, because obviously, anyone signed a contract kind of prior to 2022, that under the old regime, anyone signing a contract now, they are basically, in my opinion, kind of endorsing what Triple H is doing. And so it's interesting to see that, they're still getting TV time and they're getting a win over Baron Corbin and, Apollo Crews, who sadly, he's just eternally lost on the main roster. I know they sent him back to NXT for a little bit at one point a year or two ago. They called him back up. But yeah, it just isn't working for him. And I don't know what will, whatever will, to be fair, there's the obvious thing, go to AEW, but it's like, well, do what? He's been putting probably another tag team that won't go anywhere. And I think similar for Baron Corbin. I think the thing is, Baron Corbin's recent popularity, surge in popularity, is because he's just pushing himself out the boat constantly and proving that he deserves that TV time. Obviously, under the old regime, a few years ago, he was one of the most kind of disliked and kind of unwanted characters on television. The whole Constable Corbin thing, and when he was a stooge basically for Shane and the Authority and stuff. I think But now he has kind of more than earned his spot. He's tag team with Bron Breakker, really proved that he is a really good kind of in-ring performer and a steady hand. And maybe that's kind of all that he ended up doing, which is sad. But, this is the same, we are years removed from the Baron Corbin, who obviously won and, lost Money in the Bank really quickly and never really, became a major singles champion in WWE that potentially he should have been. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of random tag teams, and B, people who've gone from one tag team straight into another. Because I do find it questionable, like, why would you go into a tag team with someone who, when previously you've been in a tag team and that's not worked out, for whatever reason. Obviously this reason was Bron Breakker got called up to the main roster, but so did Baron Corbin. They called up to the main roster, but they had to split up because of that. Why would you instantly decide to go back into that same tag team or into that same division, particularly the main roster, because it's a very different situation here now. Obviously, we've got the Bloodline. You get the Bloodline situation going on the SmackDown. They've also got the tag belts as part of that. Over on Raw, at the moment it's tied in with the Judgment Day stuff. So it's a bit interesting why they're booking tag teams. Again, maybe it's a pod of its own. The dark matches that we saw after SmackDown. Number one, we saw Damian Priest defeat Dirty Dom. And then number two, we saw Gunther defeat Ilya Dragunov. We left during the entrances of Gunther and Ilya. But we had watched Damian and Dom. It seemed like a standard house show affair. The match was 5 minutes long. I'm not going to really comment on it more than that. It's always nice when I do things like this, but it is odd because I don't think, obviously, the German fans understood what was going on. Because obviously it still says SmackDown on the banners around and stuff. So I guess when they watch it at home, they're probably going to go, what? Like, we saw Dom and Priest and, Gunther and Ilya. But yeah, obviously the show actually ended with a street fight between the women, Nia Jax standing tall, and then obviously we saw the logo come up, and then they went to dark matches. And this will be interesting because of the American fans and even us UK fans now, who've had it so many times, we understand how their TV works now, and we fully get kind of that that's kind of when to go. For a lot of people, they leave obviously before the dark matches have finished, and we left it before they finished. But obviously the German fans just thought it was part of the show. I guess they just kind of stayed, and more fair play to them, I guess. I've just seen some very empty pictures of arenas because of that. But yeah, no, I thought that overall, I thought it was a very good show. I thought it was a very, very good show. I thought very strong, nice mix of stuff, and it really has pumped me up for Bash in Berlin tonight. Biggest pops, I haven't touched upon, something I didn't touch upon, Logan Paul. LA Knight, he got a massive pop at the start of the show, but his opponent in the opening match, I really wish they could have saved it for the pay-per-view, even if they had to do, sorry, I know it's a bit of a swear word around it, Triple H, but pre-show match, certainly. Like, I think, LA Knight, he faced Ludwig Kaiser, who got a massive ovation. It was weird because, I do have questions as to what this does for LA Knight, though. It was a decent match. Personally, I don't think LA Knight's like that good in the ring. I think he's passable, but he's not going to like set the world on fire with anything he does. But I think it's interesting, booking this new kind of face of the division against someone in their home country, and LA Knight was getting booed. So it was interesting how they mixed that audio when it comes, obviously, maybe to the network or to the live audience at home, because you basically got your US champion being booed against a German. So it's all very interesting, that dynamic. But overall, no, I felt that there were some good pops there. Cody and Kevin got big pops. Their segment was kind of nothing. I did touch upon this last night, but doing talking segments in English in a country where English is the second language, questionable in my opinion, very questionable. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed it. Tonight, obviously, we are looking forward to the Bash in Berlin show, and that takes place obviously at the same arena, and so we kind of know the kind of thing we've got to do. Just let people know, this might actually help people a lot. They are very, very strict on their bag policy, the Uber Arena, and you cannot bring in something as innocent as a water bottle, even if it's empty. This, I had to, it's still the remnants there of a sticker they put on it, where I had to hand it in, basically, to a desk and then come back and collect it at the end of the show. So please be warned, if you are planning to bring an innocent-looking water bottle, That will not be permitted into the arena. I don't know whose policy that is, whether it's the Uber arenas, whether it's WWE's, but I do think that's very, very odd in this day and age, because I expect people to sit there for 4 hours and not even allowed to have water. I didn't see any water filling stations either, so I think, that's a bit behind, obviously, my Wembley experience with AEW last week. Obviously, they have water filling stations. We have one right by our seats. O2 as well have water filling stations. I mean, they have to understand that people, will need to hydrate, and, for many different reasons, some medical, the heat as well. Obviously, it's been a heat wave here in Berlin. But yeah, don't bring a basic water bottle into Uber Arena, though. Yeah? Maybe have that as like a TikTok or YouTube short, maybe, Scott. But yeah, that's my kind of overall thoughts on SmackDown. I'm pumped for tonight. I'm really looking forward to Gunther and Randy Orton. I think that could actually be match of the year. I'm going to say it. I think it could be the match of the year. I think in terms of the story, in terms of the arena we've got and the stage that they've got, I think it really, really could be really good stuff. I'm looking forward to it quite a lot. I'm also looking forward to seeing the women's tag team title match of that pits Unholy Union against Bianca, Belair and Jade Cargill. I'm interested in seeing obviously how Jade Cargill's progressed. I haven't seen her in action in a long while, and I know things were a bit shaky potentially, but it just looked like maybe she's coming back on track. But I'm looking for the show as a whole. I have some side thoughts which I'm going to get into now. Scott, you can chop as much of this as you want, I guess. Some of these just random thoughts, some are not. But my big gripe here, and this has been going on for quite some time, and I have touched upon it, I think, on some of our pods. I just feel we need a happy medium in terms of the production of these shows. Because why is our options as fans limited to, WWE do 5 matches now, sometimes 6, nothing on the pre-show, and once you add the adverts and the videos and all the pundits and all the sponsorships and all that kind of malarkey, we get a 3.5 hour event out of 5 matches. Versus AEW, who last week had 30 people, yes, 30 people, and not to feel a Royal Rumble, wrestling on the pre-show. And then still had another 8 matches. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, why is that the options now? So we've got, 5 matches, 3 hours of WWE, or 12, 14, 16, however many you want to count them, on AEW, and it's 4 or 5 bloody hours long. Surely there's got to be a happy medium. I don't know why the word pre-show, I've said it again, Triple H, is such a dirty word around WWE, but I do think it's something they've got to address, because having people sat in an arena or sat in a stadium, particularly now in this period where we're having heat waves, in different nations, and it is just unbearably hot. And I don't understand why you want to sit people in an arena and just not even put a match out, not even a promo segment or an angle, a talk show. You hadn't used to have enough of them, like Miz TV, like. I don't know. There must obviously be a reason why they're doing it. I get for WWE, they're just following that model like UFC and like football and like loads of places have followed with this whole just to kind of talk about the thing that we're going to watch for as long as we can. The Sky Sports News, they sit all day on a Saturday, just talking about things, that are, a 90-minute game that's going to take place in a few hours. They talk about for 6 hours. So I guess it's following that model. But for me, I just find it's the worst thing about modern wrestling. We're dealing with that. Those are our options. We have no in between. A happy medium of, can we get 7 matches maybe? And it'll be 3 hours. It'll be like 3 hours. A couple of them will be short. We're reducing adverts or whatever. Because even like the video packages are really bloody good, but they show them on the pre-show already. And they put them on YouTube. Like, can't they go back? I watched recently No Way Out from 2004, and I think it was 40 minutes in, I'd seen 3 matches, and some of the matches they had the little hype videos played during the entrances. Because sometimes all you need to see is, oh, this is happening because last week on Raw this happened. Boom, that's all you need to know. I'm in the story, I'm in Element, show me the wrestling. I don't know. And then obviously the Bloodline and Roman Reigns, and they have 10-minute entrances to pop. It's just a bit too much. But yeah, I just feel we need to have this happy medium, and Triple H and Co need to understand that the pre-show isn't a bad thing. Like, because we haven't seen either set of the men's tag titles since WrestleMania. I think personally we only really saw Logan Paul and the US Championship because we only really saw the US Championship because Logan Paul was a title holder. I'll be deadly honest, I think we wouldn't have seen it otherwise. Same goes really, the IC belt had a decent showing, to be fair. And again, mainly because of the title holder, I think that's the problem with these. People win belts, and it only really matters when they want it to matter. Which, I don't know. I just miss the days where you see more belts and obviously more people on the pay-per-views. Miss the problem with people going on about obviously having the women's mid-card championships, like a women's, US or women's Intercontinental Championship. It's like, yes, you can do that, but they're not going to be featured anywhere. So I don't understand why you want to do that. And not to mention they added the Speed Championship, which is fair enough. That's for Twitter. I'm still going to Twitter, sorry. But I do just feel a bit. We're not seeing enough people. We're not seeing enough rotation sometimes in these events, and I feel that's a problem sometimes because obviously casual viewers, we need to know kind of who the champs are. Like, I don't know, maybe even if it's something they kind of go through instead of replaying in 10 videos, maybe even have on a pay per view want the advert to be. Here's what's going on with the other champions potentially.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you can show, even if it's house show footage at this point. Show the tag belt being defended in a house show. Show the IC title being defended last week on Raw, whatever it was. Because I just think we're not seeing enough people, we're not seeing enough differentiation, and that's a problem. That's an issue. But anyway, I'm going to head over. Yeah, Scott, I'm going to add this at like the end bit, so if you want to, I don't know what you're going to do with these clips, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to head into Berlin and enjoy my day there, seeing some sights. And then head over to the arena and the area and kind of get the vibe and see what's going on. And I look forward to tonight to Bash in Berlin.
Fantastic. So good to get Lucas's kind of insight there. It's always good to get that anyway with him on the show, of course, but him being out there in Berlin, really good. We not only heard about the kind of fan reactions of SmackDown, we heard about the rules at the Uber Arena as far as water bottles go. And I know exactly where he's coming from because he's right. At Wembley Stadium and football stadiums, I was just at the Emirates earlier today watching Arsenal Brighton. Same situation there. You can take a water bottle and you can refill it if you like. But hey, a bit odd. Great to hear his kind of thoughts, really, as always, like I say, and that kind of conversation about mid-card titles there as well for the women's division and it maybe not even be worth it because you're not going to get them on the show when you're not getting these major storylines, it would seem, still not on, like nothing to do with the White Six has been on a PLE yet, which is kind of weird. Like I was saying last month on SummerSlam content, we were doing that. It makes Raw and SmackDown more exciting, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, man, as he says, these pre-shows are kind of dead. Right, there's not much going on. That's why we're here, though, for the build-up. If they're not doing matches, at least we can hopefully give you a bit of entertainment. Appreciate everyone that's joined us so far tonight, watching this live portion, watching these clips from Lucas and also our clips from earlier on this week. We do appreciate it. And everyone that joined us on every single one of those shows, including our watch along for the kickoff, our watch along for SmackDown, our original prediction show as well. Really do appreciate you. Gonna kind of move over now to some more up-to-date footage that Lucas has sent us as well. He's well and truly on his way to Bash in Berlin. We're about 7 minutes away from the actual show itself. So Lucas, as you can imagine, is rushing to his seat. Let's get a little update from the man himself.
So I'm on the way into the Uber Arena for night 2 here in Germany. Yeah, night 2 here in Germany and tonight is obviously the big one. It's Bash in Berlin, the first PLE in Germany. I believe Aaron Knight said yesterday it was like 35 years or something like that, or something 30-something years. But anyway, about to go in. It seems a bit more busy than yesterday, as it is a PLE, and it obviously is on a Saturday. Obviously Friday still, a lot of people still work and stuff. So we shall see what the vibe is like. It was a really good vibe last night for SmackDown. See my other review and comments of that. We're about to go in. And yeah, the match I'm most looking forward to, I think it's got to be Gunther and Andy Orton. I think that for me could be match of the year. Contender, definitely. But I'm also looking forward to the women's tag team match as well. I'm looking forward to everything, to be fair. I think it's a really stellar card. Hopefully we get a couple of surprises. But I don't know. Triple H hasn't, he's always had surprises on these ones, to be fair. But yeah, I'm going to head in. You can hear chants and hear music to the Uber Arena here in Berlin.
Once again, thank you for Lucas sending in the updates. And he said it a few times, really, that Gunther and Randy Orton could be match of the year candidate. And I can see where he's coming from. You know, it's that, like, it kind of is a dream match, right? Obviously, we saw it in the King of the Ring finals. Sadly, that ending was a little bit awkward. But this is our kind of opportunity to kind of make up for it. Now, I think these two guys are going to feel that as well. Gunther is, again, we keep saying, not quite on home soil, but of course, where at least he made his name in wrestling originally. So he's got, a lot to be kind of performing for. Randy, I think, is just in this kind of fun period of his career where I think he's excited about, opportunities like this as well. So I do think this is going to be a good one. Really excited to see what these two can do. But as Lucas said, we've got a stacked card. The Terror Twins versus Dom and Liv. That's going to be big. I mean, a lot of people are most looking forward to this match because there's a storyline behind it. Kevin versus Cody. As much as I would prefer to see Kevin not turn, because I want Randy to turn on Cody, and I don't want it to happen twice because that's just too much for Cody and forcing it down our throats, as I was talking last night. Look, if Kevin turned, I would be like, I guess, surprised and a bit excited about it. So there is that as well. And of course, we will be back later on for our instant reaction review. So make sure, if you haven't already, that you subscribe and join us for that review later on as well. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre in a strap match. And it's always good to see these old school stipulations. I know Lucas is a fan of those as well. So we'll see how this one goes. The first strap match I remember watching was, I think, Taz versus Jerry Lawler. I've been Judgment Day 2000. I think that's also the same pay-per-view that Austin came back at with his Disturbed theme song. But yeah, looking forward to that one as well. And then, of course, we've got the women's tag titles as well. This one, again, talking about potential turns, I think Cargill will be turned on Bianca. Whether or not it happens on American soil or elsewhere, I don't know. This is the thing about these PLEs being in different countries at the moment. It's hard to know when they're willing to pull the trigger on certain things. If they did it tonight, I think it'd be great, because that would be, I think, a bit more shocking, because I actually, at this very moment in time, do believe, because it's in Germany, because it feels like the titles only went to the others, Fyre and Dawn, because it was in Glasgow, that I'm actually more expecting the babyfaces just to straight up win the title. So it would actually be a shock if she did turn tonight. It'd be a massive shock if Bianca turns. But I don't know if that's the right decision. I wanted Bianca to be a heel, I think, this time last year, but I'm okay with her being the babyface at the moment. I think the storyline between her and a heel Jade Cargill would be pretty fun as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe, because we've got content like conversations with Bianca Belair herself on this very channel. We've had the great opportunities to interview superstars such as Bayley and Pretty Deadly, of course, from over here in the UK. But it's not about the UK today. It is all about Germany. And as I say, Lucas has been out there keeping us up to date with the kind of happenings in Berlin as well. Really do appreciate that. And we really do appreciate everyone that's joined us live for these shows over the past few days as well. Of course, we will be back, as I say, for the instant reaction review. As soon as the PLE goes off air, we'll be jumping straight on to talk about our thoughts on exactly what's gone down. And of course, Lucas will be sending us some stuff from Berlin once again to let us know what the atmosphere was like in the venue, how people react to certain things, what would be entrances or results. It's going to be really interesting to kind of get his view on that as well. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I've been Scott. He's been Lucas over in Germany. And this is the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. Would love to see you again. And thanks for hopping in tonight. Cheers.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.